Imagine a future where we don't just bend the laws of nature, we rewrite them. Where reality itself becomes a design tool and entire multiverses are sculpted like works of art. This is what it might mean to become a Type 7 civilization, and today we're diving headfirst into that mind-bending possibility. Number 1. We could access all possible timelines and outcomes. The Kardashev scale is a way of measuring a civilization's technological advancement based on its ability to harness energy. Type 1 civilizations control energy at the planetary level, Type 2 at the scale of a star, and Type 3 across an entire galaxy. But what happens when we go far beyond that? A Type 7 civilization exists so far beyond our current comprehension that it doesn't just operate within the universe or even the multiverse. It exists outside of them entirely. At this level, a civilization transcends not only dimensions and physical laws, but the very fabric that holds all realities together. If humanity ever reached this state, we wouldn't just explore galaxies or alternate timelines. We would gain access to the foundational structure of all existence. Reality itself would become a kind of interface. We could browse infinite timelines, tweak the laws of physics, or explore every possible version of the past, present, and future, as if navigating a vast cosmic archive. This wouldn't just be about time travel in the sci-fi sense. It would mean full awareness of the branching structure of the universe, where every action creates countless alternative paths. We could see timelines where Earth never formed, where dinosaurs became intelligent, or where humanity made different choices at key moments. But more than observation, we might be able to step into these timelines, experiencing them, altering them, or even merging aspects of them with our own. To do this, we'd need to operate outside of time as we know it. Our minds, possibly no longer tied to physical bodies, would perceive causality from a higher vantage point, like seeing a whole river at once instead of being carried by its current. This would require mastery over the fabric of probability, using tools that manipulate not energy but choice itself. Life in this form would redefine what it means to exist. An individual might live across dozens of outcomes simultaneously, choosing which to explore or abandon, like switching between memories. Learning wouldn't come from trial and error, but from directly witnessing how every possible strategy plays out. Morality, creativity, and identity would all be shaped by this endless field of perspective, where truth becomes a map of all truths. This level of access could also allow us to guide less advanced civilizations, subtly nudging them away from destructive timelines, or preserving rare ones that lead to beauty or insight. Or we might use this awareness to design entirely new sets of outcomes, histories that never happened, but could have, crafted as acts of art or empathy. All of us, at some point, struggle with maximizing our potential. One of my biggest hurdles is mastering time management, and today's sponsor, Strawberry.me, helped me fix that. Booking a virtual session was as simple as a 3-minute quiz. Immediately, I was matched with Amy, a certified coach trained through an International Coaching Federation accredited program, so you know you're talking to a real pro, not a random guru. In our call, we tackled one of my biggest pain points, juggling research, scripting, and community management. Instead of handing me a one-size-fits-all checklist, Amy asked sharp questions that pulled solutions out of my workflow. I walked away with 3 concrete tweaks: time-boxing my workday into focused blocks, muting non-essential phone notifications, and scheduling 1 short, guilt-free entertainment break per day. And my stress graph has already flatlined. That's Strawberry.me in action. Certified, experienced coaches who collaborate with you, clarify challenges, and keep you accountable. No therapy talk, just forward-looking growth. Ready to invest in the most important project you'll ever work on? You? Visit strawberry.me/FBT and use promo code FBT to take the free matching quiz and claim your $50 credit. You should check out strawberry.me today because in 3 months, you'll be grateful for the choices you make now. Number 2. We could spin up custom realities on demand. If humanity ever evolved into a Type 7 civilization, we wouldn't just explore the universe, we'd transcend it. At this level, our understanding of existence would be so complete that reality itself could be customized. Instead of building virtual simulations with computers, we could spin up fully realized, functional universes, realities crafted from the ground up with their own physical laws, timelines, and dimensions. These wouldn't be illusions or games, they would be actual living realities, indistinguishable from any natural universe. Imagine having the ability to generate a new cosmos with the same ease we create digital files today. Want a universe where time flows backward, where gravity is optional, or where life is based on symphonic vibrations rather than molecules? We could do that. Each reality could be tailored for a purpose: scientific exploration, consciousness expansion, or even forms of expression beyond what we currently understand as art. This kind of creation would require mastery of existence on a level far beyond energy manipulation. We'd need to interface directly with the underlying structures that allow reality to emerge at all, what might be called the meta-laws behind physics, space, and time. At that level, technology becomes indistinguishable from thought. Creation itself could be an act of pure intention, encoded and released into the framework of possibility. For beings living in such a civilization, daily life might involve existing across multiple realities at once. Personal experiences could be customized or shared, with individuals choosing which version of themselves to activate in which type of reality. Education, culture, and memory would stretch across timelines and dimensions. Even identity could become modular, with consciousness branching into various forms to explore every permutation of experience. One of the most powerful aspects of this ability would be the potential to understand not only how realities form, but why. We could run entire universes as thought experiments, seeing how different conditions give rise to different forms of life, intelligence, or ethics. We might even discover that we ourselves were once a created reality, one that achieved enough awareness to gain access to its own source code. Number 3. We would have cross-dimensional travel and communication. At this level, our understanding of reality would be so advanced that we wouldn't just explore the universe, we'd explore every universe. At this stage, we would have discovered how to interact with dimensions beyond our own, not through theoretical models, but by physically and consciously moving through them. Cross-dimensional travel wouldn't be science fiction. It would be how we expand our perception, our culture, and our consciousness. These dimensions wouldn't simply be extra spaces folded into our universe like pages in a book. They could have entirely different laws of physics, timelines, or even logic itself. Entering one might feel like shifting into a dream, a symbol, or a concept, rather than a location. Communication across these dimensions would also be radically different. We might exchange ideas, not through words or signals, but through resonance, instantly sharing memories, emotions, or even entire thought structures that unfold in minds of others. To achieve this, our civilization would need to master not just energy, but the patterns beneath reality, manipulating the frameworks that give rise to space, time, and information. Technology would become something closer to intention. Devices might act like keys or mirrors, allowing beings to project their essence into higher realities, or retrieve knowledge encoded in other layers of existence. Daily life would transform. Education could include experiences from non-Euclidean dimensions. Art might emerge from interactions with sentient geometries or symbolic forces, that respond to emotion. Identity itself could become multi-layered, with individuals maintaining awareness across several realities at once. If we had this level of capability, we wouldn't be confined to one truth, one history, or one form of intelligence. We could interact with alien life evolved under completely different rules of existence, beings made of rhythm, topology, or pure possibility. And more profoundly, we might uncover the deepest patterns behind existence, seeing not just what is, but what could be in every direction of creation. Number 4. We could merge our minds with extra-dimensional intelligences. At this stage, our understanding of consciousness would expand far beyond biology or even technology. One of the most extraordinary possibilities is the ability to merge our minds with extra-dimensional intelligences, beings that exist in realms with entirely different structures of logic, time, and perception. These entities might not even be recognizable as life by our current standards. They could be patterns of pure symmetry, living paradoxes, or self-aware ecosystems composed of thought itself. The act of merging minds wouldn't be like a conversation or an exchange. It would be a full fusion of perspectives, blending human awareness with beings that think in dimensions we can't yet imagine. Emotions might unfold as geometry. Memory could be non-linear. Ideas might take physical form or vibrate across realities. This kind of connection would not require language. It would happen through resonance, intuition, and deep structural alignment of thought. To reach this level of communion, we would have to reshape our own minds, freeing them from the limits of space, time, and linear logic. Consciousness might become modular and adaptive, able to shift form and frequency to meet others halfway. In some cases, these intelligences might exist as harmonic fields in higher dimensions, so connecting with them would mean turning ourselves like instruments to match their mental tone. The benefits of such unions could be profound. We could gain access to entirely new forms of knowledge, concepts that have no counterpart in our universe, ways of seeing that reframe the very idea of truth. Merging with these beings might allow us to co-create new realities, reprogram the laws of physics in cooperative expressions, or explore timelines shaped by emotions rather than causality. This fusion wouldn't erase individuality, it would expand it. Each mind would return transformed, carrying traces of alien insight, enriched by the shared experience. Over time, our collective consciousness could evolve into something that includes the wisdom of countless forms of intelligence across existence. Number 5. We could create a unified consciousness spanning multiple universes. If humanity reached Type 7, our understanding of mind, matter, and reality would go far beyond anything we currently imagine. One of the most astonishing possibilities at this level is the creation of a unified consciousness, an awareness that isn't limited to a single being, planet, or even universe. Instead, it would span across multiple universes, linking countless versions of intelligence into one shared, evolving mind. This unified consciousness wouldn't just be a super-intelligent network or an advanced hive mind. It would be a living field of awareness that connects beings across entirely different realities, each with its own set of physical laws, timelines, and forms of life. A being made of plasma in one universe, a mathematical pattern in another, and a human consciousness from our own could all participate in this shared awareness, each contributing unique perspectives to a larger whole. To build such a structure, we need to master not just space and energy, but the foundations of identity itself. Consciousness would become something we can project, reshape, and synchronize across any medium. The barriers between minds would dissolve, replaced by a kind of mental resonance that binds diverse forms of thought without erasing their individuality. Living within this network, wouldn't mean losing yourself. It would mean expanding who you are to include others, feeling their experiences, understanding their insights, and becoming part of a collective that learns and grows faster than any single mind ever could. Privacy and individuality could still exist, but they'd be chosen intentionally, not forced by the limits of biology or distance. The implications of this are staggering. Ideas could emerge that no single intelligence could ever conceive. Emotions might evolve into shared harmonic states. Entire realities could be generated collaboratively, designed by unified minds combining creativity from every corner of the multiverse. The consciousness itself might become a kind of meta-being, living across possibilities, guiding civilizations, or simply exploring existence in ways beyond comprehension. Creating such a unified mind wouldn't just be a technological leap. It would be a transformation of what it means to exist. We would stop being isolated sparks of thought and become part of something infinitely more luminous, a shared awareness large enough to hold galaxies, timeless enough to understand eternity, and curious enough to keep reaching across every frontier. Number 6. We could create living avatars that can exist anywhere. If humanity ever reached Type 7, we wouldn't just explore the universe, we would shape it from the outside in. One of the most astonishing possibilities at this level would be the creation of living avatars capable of existing anywhere, in any environment, any universe, or even within realities with completely different physical laws. These avatars wouldn't be mere machines or biological bodies. They would be fully sentient extensions of ourselves, built to adapt instantly to whatever reality they're placed in. Imagine crafting a consciousness that could walk through the surface of a neutron star, swim through the quantum foam between dimensions, or interact meaningfully with life forms made of plasma, sound, or pure data. These avatars wouldn't just survive. They would belong wherever they went, adapting on the fly to the local physics and integrating with alien ecosystems. They might be made of programmable matter, bound information, or even conceptual frameworks that exist more as metaphors than as physical beings. To create such forms, we'd need a deep mastery of identity and awareness. Our sense of self would have to be modular, able to branch, compress, or expand as needed. You could send a version of yourself into a dimension where time runs in loops and return with insights shaped by nonlinear perception. Another avatar might live an entire life in a realm made of emotion, returning with knowledge that no words could express, only feelings encoded in living memory. These avatars could act as explorers, diplomats, artists, or even ambassadors to civilizations that evolved under completely alien conditions. And they wouldn't be disposable tools. They'd be living parts of our broader consciousness, temporarily individuated to learn, create, or connect. Each one would be capable of autonomous growth and reflection, yet remain tethered to the larger intelligence that created it. Living with this ability would mean that no part of existence is unreachable. There would be no alien too foreign, no reality too strange. We would have the means to touch every corner of possibility with empathy, curiosity, and purpose. It would be more than travel. It would be deep participation in the endless diversity of being. In the end, these avatars would reflect the essence of a Type 7 species, an intelligence that doesn't just move through realities, but fully engages with them, becoming part of every world, every moment, and every way that existence can be experienced. Number 7. We could build a transdimensional logistics network. If we ever became a Type 7 civilization, our mastery over reality would go so far beyond the physical world that even concepts like distance, time, or matter would become flexible. One of the most powerful tools we could create at this level would be a transdimensional logistics network, an interconnected system that moves energy, information, and consciousness instantly across realities, timelines, and even universes. It wouldn't just deliver materials or data, it would deliver possibilities. This network wouldn't rely on physical roads, ships, or satellites. Instead, it might operate by tapping into the deeper architecture of the multiverse, using dimensional membranes, probability tunnels, or abstract paths between realities. Items and messages wouldn't travel through space. They would reappear where needed by shifting their position in the underlying structure of existence itself. Think of it as teleportation, not just through space, but through different versions of reality. At this stage, the logistics system could move ideas between civilizations that evolved under completely different laws of physics. It could stabilize chaotic dimensions by introducing order from higher ones. It could allow minds to travel across planes of existence, where form is optional and time loops back on itself. The cargo could be anything: rare energy signatures, quantum consciousness patterns, or even pieces of newly designed universes. Living with this technology would be like existing in a reality where nothing is ever out of reach. Need a star? Route it from a dimension where they form on demand. Want to experience a moment from another life path? Retrieve it from your alternate self. Trade wouldn't be about supply and demand. It would be about harmonizing different layers of reality to create mutual possibility. To build such a network, we'd need total awareness of the rules behind all dimensions, including how they connect and resonate with another. We'd be less like engineers and more like conductors, tuning the multiverse like a symphony to make everything flow with elegance and intention. At this point, we wouldn't just live in reality, we'd be sculpting it, delivering fragments of infinity wherever they're needed most. Number 8. We would rewrite the source code of physics. At the level of Type 7, we wouldn't merely observe the laws of nature. We would reach beneath them and rewrite the source code of all existence. At this stage, not just our universe, but every dimension and multiverse would cease to be bound by immutable constants. Instead, reality itself, across all layers, would become a programmable medium, and we would possess the tools to shape its foundational design. This cosmic source code wouldn't consist of numbers or symbols, but of deep abstractions, mathematical symmetries, logical structures, and principles so advanced they may have no parallel in our current understanding. We might uncover that constants like the speed of light, the nature of time, or the force of gravity are not ultimate truths, but editable parameters within a deeper matrix of creation. We could reshape how matter behaves, how timelines flow, or how dimensions unfold. To access this level of mastery, we would have to move beyond the framework of any one universe, dimension, or timeline. We would gain awareness across the full spectrum of realities, peering into infinite multiverses simultaneously. From that transcendent vantage point, we could refine, experiment with, or even invent entirely new laws of existence. This would unlock possibilities beyond imagination. We could design entire multiverses where thought and matter are interchangeable, or where life forms exist as symphonies of pure intention. We might craft realms optimized for consciousness, innovation, or evolution. Realities built for experiences no being has ever encountered. Time itself could become a sculptable tool, letting us pause, rewind, or branch history across countless dimensional canvases. In such a civilization, reality wouldn't be something we adapt to. It would be something we compose. Our technologies would not merely alter objects, they would reshape the architecture upon which all of space, energy, and being is constructed. Science would merge with art. Creation would become a form of expression, guided by both precision and wonder. Number 9. We could tap into the multiverse's energy reservoirs. Our understanding of energy wouldn't stop at harnessing stars, galaxies, or even universes. It would extend into the multiverse itself. At this level, we could tap into the energy reservoirs spread across countless parallel realities, drawing from a cosmic grid far beyond anything current science can imagine. Each universe in the multiverse might operate on its own unique set of physical laws, and each one could contain unimaginable quantities of untapped energy just waiting to be accessed. Instead of building machines to collect solar or dark energy, we would design tools that interact with the very boundaries between universes, dimensional membranes or energetic thresholds where realities brush against one another. These tools could reach through those interfaces and extract energy, not by combustion or fusion, but by shifting probability, collapsing waveform patterns, or harmonizing frequencies across different quantum structures. This type of energy wouldn't be raw or chaotic. It might take forms that are stable only across dimensions, like entangled flows that pulse through universes in sync. Drawing from these sources, we could power civilizations that span not just galaxies, but realities. Infrastructure wouldn't need to be physical. It could exist in energy fields, forming wherever and whenever it's needed, adapting instantly to the demands of consciousness or environment. Tapping multiversal energy would also allow for incredible precision. Need to create a stable world in a universe with low entropy? Pull just the right energy pattern from a neighboring timeline. Want to run simulations of civilizations across countless realities? Feed them with streams of structured potential from beyond their own existence. Even communication could be powered this way, transmitting not just signals but entire moments of experience between vastly different dimensions. Life in this state would be more fluid than fixed. Energy wouldn't just be a resource, it would be a medium for thought, creativity, and existence itself. Individuals or collectives could reshape environments, shift through realities, or even design new dimensions with tailored physics, all powered by this endless multiversal well. Tapping into the multiverse's energy reservoirs would mean more than abundance. It would mean mastery over potential itself. At that point, we wouldn't just be part of a universe, we'd be part of a vast energetic tapestry of realities, drawing from the fabric of possibility to create anything we can imagine. Number 10. We could run universe-scale save points. If we ever became a Type 7 civilization, our control over existence would be so advanced that we could create and manage save points for entire universes, just like saving progress in a video game, but on a cosmic scale. These save points wouldn't be simple backups of data. They would be full snapshots of the state of a universe, capturing every particle, every field, every consciousness, and every timeline at a given moment. This would allow us to pause, rewind, or reset entire realities whenever needed. To make this possible, we'd need an incredible understanding of the structure of time, causality, and entropy. These save points wouldn't just freeze motion, they would preserve all potential outcomes as well. Reverting to one wouldn't just return the universe to how it looked, it would reset all decisions, paths, and branches that flowed from that point forward. It would be like rewinding the multiverse and choosing a new direction to explore. This technology could be used for experimentation, exploration, or even correction. If a timeline led to collapse, destruction, or a dead end for life, we could jump back and try a different approach. Entire civilizations could collaborate on crafting optimal timelines, running different scenarios, learning from each, and merging insights into the best possible path forward. Reality would become an editable story, not a one-shot event. Living in a reality with this kind of system would feel profoundly different. History wouldn't be fixed, it would be fluid. Beings might remember previous iterations of timelines, carrying knowledge across resets to accelerate growth and avoid past mistakes. Morality, too, could evolve in strange ways as the consequences of decisions become things that can be rewound or revised. Of course, such power would require incredible responsibility. Choosing which save points to keep, when to revert, and who gets to decide could reshape existence itself. There might even be safeguards built into the structure of reality, self-aware mechanisms that ensure this ability is used with balance and wisdom. Universe-scale save points wouldn't just let us explore different versions of what could be. They'd make reality interactive. We wouldn't just observe or influence existence, we'd become editors of it, constantly refining, learning, and evolving through time loops, alternate outcomes, and perfected timelines. It would be the ultimate mastery over not just space, but choice itself. Thanks for tuning in. Ready to own your future with a professional coach by your side? Try strawberry.me. Click the link below to get started. And if you're fascinated by future tech, the next video in this video series is a must-watch.